Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steven Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about the tools only products that we're planning on releasing
Exactly.
soon.
I've secretly had one out there. People don't even really know about it very much, but if you were just needing RealQuest Pro, it's out there. It's been there and it's cheap. I don't know if I'm going to keep it like that, but right now it's $100 a month. If you go to ownersdata.com, I never talk about it, but we started with a tools only product a while ago, and then we paused a little bit, but there's a few things out there that you can get like that one.
There's a whole group of people who are very experienced land buyers, and it turns after we we're going to get into this in the show, but there's a lot of people that do this that I never knew about. They do 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 deals a year, and they're very happy doing it on the side, and they're successful at it. And they just need. Jill and I have negotiated incredible deals. We're the data providers of all these products. Negotiated like licensing deals with these people. We're licensed providers, so
and there's products
we
we've
can
created.
pass on massive savings versus you just going in there and getting it yourself. And so there's a lot of people that just need access to those tools. And
Oh, don't forget, like I said, the ones that we created didn't exist, like Parcel Fact.
Right.
Indeed Perfect. I mean, those two. So we have many members that are not members, but many people in our world that are a la carte doing different things. They might have owner's data. They might do some Deeds or Deed Perfect. They might be in our online community getting some information, and they're using offers to owners. So all we're going to do is make it even easier and better for them.
Yeah, they don't need the customer service that we typically provide for a new investor. We'll get into it in a minute here. Before we do get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Victor asks, does anyone have an experience in selling land notes? I'm considering selling some land notes or partial notes to free up some cash for new deals. Most of my notes are around $8,000 with $150 payments. What is standard to ask from a note buyer? Any advice or past experience would be great. Thanks. You want to start this because you just had a discussion with us. I think it was one of our live events. Didn't you guys really talk about this? I can't remember where it was, but
I have a lot of personal experience with selling land notes. So here's how it goes. The notes have to be seasoned, meaning they have to be. It's best if they're performing notes for more than 6 months. So that $150 a month has been getting paid, and it looks like it's going to get paid in its entirety, number one. Number two, what you're really asking is, what's the discount? So the face rate is $8,000. What can I expect to sell this note for? Can I expect to sell it on a 50% discount, which would be $4,000? And a lot of that depends on whether or not the land's any good. So if it's a great, this is why Jill and I teach this constantly. You want to buy it as cheap as you can, and then you want to sell it at wholesale prices, not retail, because that's when at retail prices, hopefully you don't know this, but if you buy a house for full price out of the MLS and you get a regular mortgage like everybody, it's like buying a car from a dealer. It's hard to ever get back to an equity position. So assuming that you did all the Land Academy stuff that we teach, and you bought a property for, let's say, $4,000, you sold it for $8,000 on terms, and it's really worth $20,000. Then you're going to do great. Your discount rate on this deal might be 0 because the property's actually worth $20,000.
Good point. So
will it be 0 ever? No. There's always a discount rate because there's some risk that the person won't pay.
Right.
But where you're going with this is a very sophisticated way of buying land, selling it on terms, seasoning it a little bit, and then selling the notes. It's a great business model. I'm glad you asked on Land Investors because we have a lot of people in our group that are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I find there's a lot of people that started down that path and started doing the, going for the monthly payments kind of thing. And then they're like, this person's like, shoot, now I'm out of cash. It's taken too long to build up the cash. Maybe I should do a little more cash transactions and then less terms transactions. And that's kind of where we are. And that's why we stopped doing terms transactions, because I can build up my cash so much faster with the, buy it, double it, move on.
Here's the kind of notes that Jill and I get from people constantly. I start just exactly what Jill said. Boy, you guys are really right about this cash only thing. The terms thing this is an email I got recently. There's nothing passive about selling property.
That's so
terms.
True. Good point. That's a very good point. No, I didn't, but you're 100% right. If you think you're going to sit back and do nothing and not have to babysit these people or chase them after they'd miss a payment or something, you are wrong. Or they might just disappear.
I mean,
it happens.
1 out of 10 people might just pay and not require
That's probably a
any
good number.
discussions or maintenance at all. But your rescission rate's going to be close to 50%. So five of those people, you're going to have to repost it. Yeah. And bear in mind,
that's your business model.
And you're probably working, whatever job you have, you're working way harder at that job than you would at term sales for yourself.
True.
But cash sales, you buy it for 4, sell it for 8. Now you've got 8,000, and then you sell it buy 2 more, sell them for 16, 32, 64,000. It's not hard to accumulate hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars pretty quickly, just selling, reasonably good pieces of property on the internet without having to go through all the stuff.
I just like too that I think people see the term sales as, well, I can sell it for 20 because it's on payments and they'll pay them
big numbers.
I don't want my buyers having that feeling in their stomach like, I overpaid, but hey, it was the only way I could get that car or get that land. People do that, and like, I know with the payments, like a house. Come on, we all know how a mortgage works. We all know that a $150,000 house is a $300,000 house when you pay it off. I don't like that.
Or way worse, actually.
Exactly.
I don't
want to be that. I don't want to be that. I don't like that. I like that. Like you said, buy it for 4, sell it for 8. They're like, yay, because I know they could, which has happened to us often. And that's how Land Academy started. Our buyers would go around, because we were doing it wholesale, mark it up even more and sell it retail. And then come, and so that's the whole thing how we started teaching all this. So I feel much better about that, because then everybody along the way feels like they won.
I was just going to say that. I mean, there's a bunch of things that you and I see differently, but there's one at the core of it. You and I have always never wavered from that.
It's true.
I want everyone to win in the transaction that I'm involved in.
Yep.
I want the seller to win, the buyer to win, and I want to make a little bit of money too.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's great? It makes my life so easy because no one's mad at me. No one comes back and says I overpaid or this, and this. They're like, if anything, they're going, I can't believe they sold it to me like that, kind of thing. And I'm like, you know what? I wish you well.
That's why Land Academy started, because everybody was constantly asking us, how do you guys buy this so cheap and sell it so cheap? It's really worth a lot more.
Yep.
So that's how I would do a deal if I were you.
Exactly.
And selling a note, here's my point. Selling a note is no different. You want the guy to win. Note buyers, and that whole note business is very sophisticated. It's a financial instrument backed by real estate. It's cool. I like it.
You're cool.
Today's topic, the tools only product explained. This is the meat of the show. Jill, give us a background of where this really started, like all the way back to Rogue Pro.
Yeah. I guess that was back when we first just started doing we started with the RealQuest Pro. We launched in 2015, summer 2015, not knowing how this would go.
Yep.
And it was just the Land Academy education. We just put it together and said, here you go. Next thing that came along was an online community, quick.
A week later, somebody said,
it was Claire. It was Claire and I talking.
Later, Claire said, I
need to communicate with you.
I have questions.
Exactly. So I turned to Steven and I said, we got to come up with something. What can we do that we could all, connect a little bit and help them a little bit when they have these little questions? He's like, well, let's just make an online community. We knew about Bigger Pockets back then. So we said, we'll make our own. So we did. And that blew up. So that was Success Plant, which is now Land Investors.
A week after that, someone said, well, can't we just, you talk about RealQuest. Can't you guys just go get, can we just use your subscription? You guys have already been through it.
So we told them where to go get it, and the bunch of us were all separately paying $250 a month, myself included, to have the access to RealQuest Pro. And that's what, and then finally, we said, all right, we had enough people now. There's a better, cheaper way, and we became licensed providers.
That became the pattern. The pattern was, well, that's great. Thanks for teaching me all this stuff, and thanks for getting a data subscription. That's awesome.
Right.
But we need this, and we need this, and we need this, and how do you do a deed? And I need access to this. Yeah. That's how all these products came about.
Right.
It wasn't like we sat around and wanted to operate 22 websites.
Yeah. It was really solved every time. This is so good. We haven't talked about this in a while. You're right. Every single thing that we've done has been because of a request of our members, and many members saying, I need help with X.
Yep.
All right, we can do this. We made Deed Perfect. Even as clunky as it is, it's a good site to get some quick deeds out. We still use it today.
We used it yesterday in a deal.
Exactly. So, and if you need to
works.
tweak the letter, use a different letter, whatever, you got the gist of it. It spits out a deed for you. You know what you're doing. So, and then now the mapping. My biggest one is Parcel Fact. That has for me been a game changer with these tools. So I
use Parcel Fact like I use Google.
Yeah.
I'm in there all day, every day, in my own website, solving my problems.
Yep.
I mean, that's amazing.
Yep. We have a $5 a day thing right now going on. It's $5 a day or $100 a month, and you don't have to think about it. So, and a lot of people are using it just a la carte. So here's what we're doing. So because of the need, we're seeing all these separate little a la carte. I just had someone the other day check out $98 for a deed and all these little things. We're going to put together kind of a bundle, if you will. So it's not for the regular members. This is for people that's all they need. They're seasoned investors. They really don't need to talk to us. They don't need any support. They don't want to be on our calls. They're way beyond that. It's just a cheaper way for them to get access.
It's a cheaper way to get them to have access to the licensed products that we have. That's it. They don't need any customer service.
Correct.
They don't need any education.
Right.
And it's certainly for people who they're already pros.
Exactly.
It's just way easier to get access to RealQuest and some of the other products that we have.
Right.
This way.
And I will say too, this is not going to be for new investors. That's not who this is for, because I don't want a couple things. Number one, it's not going to include everything in the toolbox, if you will, but include, so it's going to be a little bit different. So as our regular community, because I always take care of you guys first, this is our people, they will have the most of everything. If you're in Land Academy, you always get the best.
And here's why. Here's why. If you learn how to buy and sell land through the Land Academy methodology, you're learning the right way. This has been a few years now, and people are just constantly sending us gift baskets and telling us, thanks. This really is the right way to do this.
Exactly.
Even people that came to us pretty seasoned from other people's groups are saying, you know what? There's a lot of holes in this other way to do this over here, but you guys really filled the holes and provided the tools. So there's no replacement for the actual education. And this goes for House Academy that we're going to launch here soon, too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I even noticed, too, that other people in the real estate investment world they're like, yeah, I'm starting to see people comment on social media and things like, yeah, driving for dollars is stupid. I'm like, hello, we've been saying that for how long?
The whole time.
Right? And that's just one example of the right way and the not right way. People get in there. People think that some people still think that's the way to go.
Or buying back tax properties the only way to do this. That's really a bad way, actually.
That's a hard way. That's a problem way. So yeah. So this is not for new investors. This will just be something for a whole different group. And what I expect, actually, here's what I expect to happen. Because this has happened. There are so many really experienced investors that have stumbled across us, and they have got our program and said, oh my gosh, it helped my business.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Lots of people that were already investing, doing it just fine, slowly, but this made it so much better.
What this is not is a cheap way to get involved in the Land Academy group and utilize all the stuff that we've created and avoid paying for the education. I mean, that's the conversation, the real conversation Jill and I had right before this episode.
It's true.
That's the message we want to convey, and I don't know how to do it any better than how I just did it.
I think you did it perfectly. You did great.
Well, you've done it again. You spent another 15 minutes or so listening to the Land Academy show. Join us next time where we talk about there's just no time like the present to do whatever you're going to do in 2019.
Love it. And we answer your questions posted on our online community, landinvestors.com. It's free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition. That went a lot better than I thought.
Yeah.
This product, while we have the bones of it, Jill and I, we just, all the details aren't worked out. So,
exactly.
But people need to know what we're working on.
Totally. I'm glad that we brought that up, and thank you. Wherever you're watching or listening, please rate us there. We are Steven Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.